Schwartz, the composer of Godspell. Isn't that wonderful? Spark of creation, always here. We have to fan it into a flame. We're the ones who are responsible for getting the energy up. That's why I chose a new opening number. Something that not only gets the lungs going, but our whole body. And Matthew Fox was right. We need to celebrate with every part of our being. You know, we give lip service in unity often to mind, body, spirit, but we tend to get caught in the mind, spirit part without really considering the body as an important tool in celebrating our spiritual good. I read an article in a newspaper not long ago about the final words that were uttered by famous people before they transitioned out of their bodies to the other side of life. Or as everybody else says, they died. We don't say that here. You know, we go to the other side. But it's really interesting to see what was on the person's mind right before they checked out, if you will. Some were really profound, some were weird, and some were really funny. Leonard Bernstein opened his eyes and looked in front of him and said, "What's this?" Victor Hugo oddly remarked, "I see black light." Black light? That's fascinating. Thomas Edison sat bolt upright with a big smile on his face, said, "I'm surprised. It's very beautiful over there." Isn't that wonderful? Charles Fillmore said something of the same thing. Matinee idol Errol Flynn said, "I've had a hell of a lot of fun. I've enjoyed every minute of it." And then he was off on his next great adventure. And then there's Queen Elizabeth I fighting tooth and nail not to go. She said, "All of my possessions for one more moment of time." Actress Tallulah Bankhead, when asked what she needed, replied, "Codeine and bourbon, darling." She didn't get it. Florence Ziegfeld, the Broadway producer, yelled out, "Curtains, light, ready for the finale. The show looks good, the show looks good." Actor Edmund Gwenn is most famous, or perhaps only famous, for his exit line. "Dying is easy, comedy is hard." However, we have a variety of opinions of what our elder brother and great teacher Jesus said before he left the planet. Matthew and Mark both are in agreement that he was quoting Matthew, again, he didn't quote Matthew, he wrote Matthew. No, he didn't even write Matthew. He was quoting the Psalms, Psalm 69, when he said, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" But the later gospel writers, Luke and John, had him say something completely different. They thought, well, he needs a better exit line than that. That's not terribly hopeful. So they rewrote it. Luke had him say, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Into your hands I commend my spirit." Now, John's gospel is really more about John. It's really all about John, quite frankly, and his relationship to Jesus, and how Jesus loved him more, and how Jesus took him everywhere the others weren't allowed to go. It was really about the book of me and other guys, some of the other guys too. So while Jesus was shown as going through a very painful, very human experience that on this planet we call death, in the first two books of Matthew and Mark, and is more concerned with keeping himself centered in God in Luke, Jesus was making sure John was being taken care of in the book of John. In John 19:30, he said to his mother, "Behold your son." To John, he said, "Behold your mother." And then he said, "It's finished. Now that I know you guys are good, I can go." So we have three very different exit lines for Jesus in the Bible. The book that we hear is infallible, only tells the truth. Every single thing in there is factual. Well, that can't be true because we have three different lines for a start. We have three different ones because Matthew and Mark are in agreement. Matthew read Mark and just copied it. When Jesus said on the cross, we have no historical, factual. What he said on the cross, we don't have anything factual that backs it up. We have no idea whether truthfully, there was this person called Jesus. Now, we have some historians who mention him in brief passing, but that's all we have outside of the Gospels, outside of the Bible. What he said has been passed around orally for many years before it was finally written down, beginning in about 50 years after he passed. From 50 to 100 years after he passed, they began to write things down. Imagine if you had said things and your family repeated them for 50 years, and finally, in 50 years, somebody said, let's write down what Jeff said. How factual do you think it would be? Maybe something sort of along the same lines. Literal Bible interpretation is the least reliable interpretation because the scriptures were not meant to be taken literally. Thousands of years ago, they knew they were writing about truth, and they would create a story to highlight that. They didn't care about factual reporting. That was not part of their consciousness. It's fitting that, for the most part, the final words of the famous people we just heard pretty much reflect who they were before they made their transition. Tallulah, Errol, Ziegfeld, they didn't change because of their approaching physical death. They didn't have a come to Jesus moment. Tallulah asked for liquor and drugs. Florence Ziegfeld was calling the beginning of the show for the actors to take their place. And Errol Flynn was still having fun and anticipating having fun as he was going to the other side. So Jesus, whatever word he used, was demonstrating that he knew that God was at work within him and that death was not the end of his life. Those who heard Jesus quote Psalm 69, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" if they stayed around, they would have heard Jesus complete the whole thing, which is, "I will praise the name of God with a song. I will magnify him with thanksgiving. You who seek God, let your hearts revive." You who seek God, go to your heart. Get excited about it. Of course he was going through a horrible, horrible death with the crucifixion, one of the worst executions humankind has ever created. But our elder brother knew that no matter how bad it got, even if it felt like God had abandoned him, God was truly there inside of him. When we're going through it, it's hard to remember that. When we're going through the valley of the shadow, how do you feel that? It's really hard. The psalm at the end was saying, "I will celebrate my divinity no matter what I'm going through, even though I don't feel you. I will give thanks even though I don't know how this horror is going to end or when it will end. I will fill my heart with joy for the never-ending presence of divine love, even though I don't feel it at this very moment." And that's the last word you ever need to know in your life. God hasn't abandoned you. God hasn't given up on you. God's right here. Not the God in the sky that looks like Charlton Heston that we keep holding on to. That isn't God. That's some really crazy person. Some really angry, mentally deficient being that is not the truth of who and what God is. God is the energy of love, life, joy, and peace. That's God. Infinite spirit, that wonderful energy, created you and sustains you moment after moment after moment. God is the very life and power of your mind, your body, your career, your relationships. And anything that is in your life is the creation of the divine. When you feel abandoned, what has happened is we've given our power outside of ourselves. We're thinking something outside of us has more power, therefore I am isolated right where I am. And we do that, we change that by going within, closing our eyes against whatever we may be seeing, and giving thanks that God is still here no matter what I'm going through. No matter how horrifying the news you just received was, God is stronger. We feel forsaken because we are looking at the crucifixion that we may be going through as the only reality there is, and this is going to destroy my life. You may be going through the most painful breakup of your life right now. The one person you thought would be it forever decided that you were not the one who was going to be it forever. And that hurts. And the pain of separation and abandonment is maybe something more than you think you can bear. Or you may have received the worst diagnosis you can hear, which is there's nothing we can do for you. And you wonder, where is this God of healing that I've heard about every Sunday that I read in the Unity material? Where's the miracle of Jesus healing the incurables for you? Wait a minute. I keep reading all these wonderful miracles in this book that happened 2,000 years ago. Did it end then? End of the book, end of miracles? Wow, did God get old and forget how to do these things? Or does God not care anymore? Did God give up on us? Did God die? Are these just fairy tales? Why do I even get up early in the morning on Sunday? I can stay in bed, watch television, watch football. As I see some people already are. Is what I hear at Unity just BS when it comes to what is real? Although the unemployment rate has come up and it's getting better, there are still a lot of blue-collar workers in our country who wonder, oh, what I did doesn't exist anymore. What do I do now? Where's God in this? Where's my job? God, I've been looking for 3 years now. Nothing. I've been praying for 3 years for unemployment. Nothing. Where are you? Why have you forsaken me? I don't hear anything. I don't feel anything. When and if anything traumatic and life-changing seems to be happening to us, the first thing we have to do is turn to God within. We've got to go to this wonderful energy that sustains and supports us at all times. Not outside of ourselves. We're not going to find God. We can see God everywhere. God is everywhere present. But God only works for us through us. When we go to our intuitive understanding, our intuitive heart, and listen. As I was driving here today, it was so beautiful. It was dark and it was foggy and the trees were, it was better than any painting I ever saw. I saw God at work there, the ultimate divine artist. But that is only a reflection of what is inside of me. To access God, I have to go within to God, who is the health, strength, life, abundance, peace of mind, the co-creator of everything in our lives. So quit trying to figure out with your limited brain, because we keep looking at the iceberg and seeing this much. Well, that's all there must be. There's a whole lot more to your life underneath. So quit trying to figure out how you are going to heal from this so-called terminal disease. Quit trying to figure out how you are going to get that mate back and make them love you. Quit trying to figure out how you're going to make your business work when it seems to be getting worse every day. Quit trying to make your life work and let it work by turning within and listening to the real way that Spirit has for you. We can only give away our power, our joy, and our success. Nobody can take it from us. Nobody's taking your good away, even though it appears to be. Your job is to hold to the truth, focus, be single-eyed, as our elder brother taught us. See only the good and refuse to give up until it begins to show up. Stop listening to people who think they know how to live your life. They don't know how to live their lives. They're doing a really lousy job with their lives, so they give up on them and they're turning to you because they're bored. Or they don't want to have to take a look at their lives. And you're so much easier because you're outside of me. If the experts are wrong a lot, which they are, non-experts are wrong most of the time. We love our moms, we love our dads, we love our families. They're not experts on your lives. The experts don't know you personally, even if they think they do. And they can't possibly know what is right for you. Harry, an 88-year-old man who wasn't feeling very well, went to the doctor to get a physical. The doctor gave him some very solid medical advice, and Harry said he would follow it immediately. A few days later, the doctor saw Harry walking down the street with a very beautiful woman on his arm. He was laughing, looking better. He was healthy, just so vibrant. The doctor hadn't seen him looking this good in years. A couple of days later, the doctor called Harry and said, "You're really doing great, aren't you?" Harry replied, "I'm just doing what you advised, Doc. Get a hot mama and be cheerful." The doctor said, "I didn't say that. I said, you've got a heart murmur and be careful." Harry heard something better. And it worked perfectly fine for him. Sometimes people come up to me online and say, oh, that talk was just for me. I know a few of you have already said, you wrote that just for me, God. And I did. When you talked about the rainbows and everything, oh my God, that was just for me. I always go, great, that's wonderful. I never said rainbows anywhere in my talk, but you heard rainbows somewhere, so God had a message for you in the middle. When I was talking, you were creating your own talk, which is wonderful and great because God does have a perfect message just for you. It just may be something I had never said on that Sunday. So God is going to reveal your truth, whether it's hot mamas or rainbows or whatever it might be. Listen to God, not the experts. I'm up here not telling you absolute truth. I'm telling you what has worked for me. I'm telling you about my journey and the journey that other people through the 25, almost 30 years now I've been doing this work who have shared with me how the truth works. I'm up here hopefully inspiring you to go within, to do your own. I'm a spiritual cheerleader is what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell you this stuff works. And people are proving it over and over and over again. And if it worked for anybody, it can work for you. Really and truly, this can work for you when we put away everything else outside of ourselves, go to God and say, all right, I'm open and receptive. What do you have for me? And then listen. It might take a while, especially if you're not used to doing this, but go there. Get quiet, go for a while. If you can't just sit there in a pretzel, I don't do pretzels, That's not. I don't do the typical meditation pose. My best meditation comes from driving. Comes from walking. That's why we do a walk with God at the retreats. It's so powerful and so amazing what comes out of these walks with God. Find a meditation form that works for you. There is no wrong way. Just do the way that works for you individually. So here are some of the famous last words from the experts who want you to know this is the absolute truth. Charles Duell, head of the Office of Patents in 1899, declared, everything that can be invented has been invented. 1899. Albert Einstein in 1932 said, there is not the slightest indication that nuclear energy will ever be obtainable. It would mean that the atom would have to be shattered at will. We all know that can't happen. Business Week, August 1968, reported, with over 50 foreign cars already on sale here, the Japanese auto industry isn't likely to carve out a very big slice of the U.S. market. How many people here have a Japanese car? Jack Warner Brothers, 1927, said, talking pictures will never work. Who wants to hear actors talk? Shakespeare? Who? Lord Kelvin, an English scientist, again in 1899, declared that radio has no future, heavier than air flying machines are impossible, and X-rays will prove to be a hoax. Famous last words. No one can predict your future. No one. Even the best psychics have said nothing is written in stone. These are just the indications of where you are right now. They're picking up your energy for where you are right now. What you say, what you think, what you are feeling, and what you act on determines what tomorrow will be like. And then the next day and the next day. It's your words, it's who you are and what you're doing with your energy that determine the life you're going to lead from now on. Will you be Errol Flynn loving life or Elizabeth I desperately clinging to one more moment? True story, a number of years ago, a man received a diagnosis of terminal cancer. The man felt led to go home, go to prayer, and when he got home from the doctor's office, he prayed and he meditated for days and days and days, for weeks. And he only had one affirmation he was working with. God, I only want to know you. Reveal yourself to me. God, I only want to know you. Reveal yourself to me. Within a few weeks of doing this, he was feeling a lot better. He felt so good. He went to the doctor and he said, I really feel good. And the doctor did some follow-up testing and discovered the man had no cancer left at all anywhere in his body. The man went home and immediately went into prayer. He said, God, I didn't ask to be healed. I just wanted to know you. I just wanted you to reveal yourself to me. And he heard back clear as a bell, when I am present, there is no disease. It's just God. Or rather, when you invite, affirm, ask God to be consciously present within you, you will be fully aware that God has always been here, always been present, never missing. I went for a walk, and I left God home. I'm the one who went out and said, there's more power out there. What they're saying outside is true. What God has for within me is a Hallmark greeting card and is of no use to me right now. That's not the truth. Your Creator created you perfectly. So we have to turn away from that, from the world trying to scare us. And it does. The world loves to scare us. Like the little kids on Halloween tomorrow, they'll have the little sheet on their head. They'll be hiding in the bush. They'll jump out and go, boo! We'll go, oh. Well, that's what the plan is trying to do. The plan is always yelling boo at us. Lately, they've been yelling boo a lot by turning on the television and presidential stuff. Oh, boo. Oh, scary. Breaking news. Always breaking news. Breaking news. Something happened 2 weeks ago. Oh, my God, no. Boo. We have to say enough. Turn on the Food Network. Turn on anything else. I turn on the easy listening station now. And Wendy relaxes so much because even she's like going, would you please turn MSNBC up? This is just making me crazy. She's like, stop it. So we have to turn within and know that everything I need is right here. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. You are perfect, complete, whole. Nothing's missing from you. Jesus reminds us, you are God's. You forgot. How dare you call God your Father? Because God is. God's my father and mother. You just forgot who you are. You forgot your divinity. That's all. Jesus didn't take personally the Romans mocking him or tormenting him. He said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Forgive them. Now, I know sometimes people get a little nervous in Unity and New Thought when we talk about Jesus. For me, Jesus is a teacher. He's an elder brother who has gone before me to do this work. We don't worship Jesus in Unity. We look at him as a universal teaching of the power is within me, and that is the relationship we have with him here. So if you're sweating and starting to shake every time I say Jesus, I invite you to get over it, because I'm going to talk about that wonderful teacher and his wonderful teachings a lot. Because a lot of our culture is built on that, and we need to shake off the dust and the mud and everything else that's been glommed on top of it and really see the wonderful shining truth underneath. So I invite you to begin the healing process of whatever that is. Let it go. Let it go. It has nothing to do with Jesus, and it has nothing to do with what he was teaching. And it has a lot to do with us looking and seeing how did he teach us to accept our own divinity, our own power. So like Jesus, your work this week is to forgive them. Let them off the hook. Let them go. Forgive them for going boo, for scaring you into forgetting your divinity, your power. The doctors, the experts, your ex, your meddling family, the director or the critics who couldn't see what a brilliant artist you are. Your employer who fired you for seemingly no reason whatsoever. The kid from the 5th grade who took your lunch money every Thursday. Probably doesn't remember you. He doesn't remember you. You're the one who's holding on to him. Let him go. Give him back to God. He's not in your life anymore. Stop having him in your life anymore. Whom do you need to let go of from your life to be happy, to be peaceful, to be free? Write them a letter or just do a meditation and forgive them. Get rid of them. They're not part of your life anymore. What do you want your last words on this planet to be? Let them be your first, your second, your third, your final words of life, joy, peace, love, power that is yours right now. And continue to know that you are truly God's perfect creation right where you are. Take a breath. Breathe out. You know, again, I can talk up here for another hour. That would be boring and your blood sugar would really drop. But talking longer doesn't mean that we get the truth. I can only tell you about my truth and how exciting truth is. Now we have to let Spirit reveal the truth. So I invite you to close your eyes as we begin our time of prayer and meditation. If you know the song we're going to sing or you just want to listen to it, that's wonderful. If you want to sing along with it, you don't know the words are on the wall behind me. letting it go. Breathe in. Draw that breath in and let it go. Feel the peace of God, the joy of God, the power of infinite spirit loving you, supporting you, recreating you every moment, restoring you to wholeness, revitalizing your mind for new ideas, for success. Let go of trying to figure it out for yourself. I've never been able to do that without the power of God at work, because I don't have the information that I need without divine intuition. For whatever it is in my life that hasn't worked, that means I'm trying to do it. That which is working is spirit. Let go of the fear of letting go. And know that in letting go is the ultimate power of life working. Once again, Psalm 69 says, I will praise the name of God with a song. I will magnify God with thanksgiving. You who seek God, let your hearts revive. Knowing this to be the truth, I move into the light of understanding by quietly affirming, I am healed by my loving acceptance of this body temple. I am healed by my loving acceptance of this body temple. My body was created perfectly, just the way it is. And spirit is at work in every cell, every tissue, every atom, at a subatomic level, to bring order, strength, wholeness, vitality, and life. Simply say yes to it. And allow the power to move from the top of your head down to your feet. Let go of the pain, the aches. Let go of the name of the condition. It doesn't matter to spirit. All there is God. It's also revealed that I am prospered by my gratitude in advance of seeing my good. I have to be grateful, thankful in advance, with faith that God has this, that God is at work in ways that I have no idea about. But my success is assured when I am grateful, excited, passionate, and happy about the ultimate, inevitable success in my life. Breathe that in. I am grateful for all the good that I have and all the good coming forth as I let go and allow creative spirit full access to me. In the silence of my being, for a moment, all it takes is a brief moment, I listen, I hear, I know. There is only one power, one presence. God. God the good. Right here, right now. As a being of light, I have nothing to fear, ever, because God and I are one. Take a deep breath. And breathe out. Another breath in. And open your eyes. Be fully present. Right here, right now. And so it is.